Because I'm about to find out what happens when the hunter meter fills up.
Hold it there, sleeper.
Comes a voice from behind you.
Don't you run. Good.
A hand pats your coat down.
You know your master's voice.
He's wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he's terrible news.
You got all the way out here and then stayed put. That sleeper thing? You're my first.
You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has levied at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt looping without taking his eye off you.
This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons.
He splits the ring into 2 perfect circles.
It's hard to a civilization when there's so much space to pass through.
Sir, who are you?
Just a freelancer on contract.
He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrists.
Go easy.
You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap.
This is a very boring routine, trust me. I've seen it all before.
He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking.
To the ship and home!
You stumble down the corridor and your hands behind you, your mind racing. Oh, we can work this out.
Can we? I don't see much in a way of assets in your possession.
Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor.
Shane to come all this way out here just to head back to SNR right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you put a bit of more of a chase, you know, a running battle through the bright market maybe, or hold up in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around.
You walk in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That SNR tracker will be the death of you.
Hey, I have an idea.
Ethan interrupts your thoughts.
How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying.
I have a better idea.
This better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause and then try to jump on me, because I'm getting tired of that. Although, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the circuit systems and you are heading for the exit?
He pauses and you trudge on in silence.
Okay, here's the idea. You and me, we make a little arrangement. Here are the terms. You run, or leave, or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But you come meet me at the establishment of my choice every few cycles and you pay me tab, I don't shoot you. You don't pay my tab.
He rattles his handgun.
You get the idea?
I get it.
Okay, that sounds to me like a deal. I really thought I was gonna have to kill you, but this is so much better.
He clicks something at his belt and the rings release from your wrist.
I'm going to see if I can find my old stool at the compressor club. Come see me there.
He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight.
Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker. So don't even think about leaving the eye. Oh no.
Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? So I have 2 cycles to pay this up?
Wakey, wakey.
Ethan is outside the moment you leave, leaning on the shin.
Ethan, that's right.
Pushes off from the wall, a little shaky on his feet.
And you made me come all the way up here.
His hand comes to rest with the butt of his handgun dangling from his chest holster.
I thought we had a deal here. You pay my tab, and I don't shoot you. Wasn't that it? Or am I misunderstanding?
I don't have the Cairo,
Well,
says Ethan, pinching the bridge of his nose.
the idea was that you get the Cairo. Someone could be sitting on my stool right now. Think about that. I like it there. There we have music. We have drinks. We have darkness.
He shades his eyes.
All we have here is fluorescent lights and a bad smell.
What's your problem?
My problem is you didn't clear my tab, so I'm here to clear that up.
Ethan lazily draws his handgun from his holster.
Cairo, whatever you have, now.
No.
Come on! You're wasting my time.
Ethan leans over and pats your pockets, keeping the gun trained on you.
We have to stop meeting here. This place stinks.
He finds you chits and pulls out a handful.
Thank you.
He stuffed the chits in a pocket without counting them.
Was that so hard?
Dude, why are you doing this?
You think this is on me? I think someone in your position might have a better idea of how this all works.
Ethan holsters his gun and reaches into his coat pocket. He pulls out a hip flask and takes a swig.
I'm a freelancer sleeper, just like you. We both signed a contract with SNR, didn't we? The difference is that my word means something.
He closes the gap, stumbling a little.
What did you think? You could just run away from your contract, your debt? You could just steal that natty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two?
Dude, you don't understand, man.
It's you, Sleeper, that doesn't understand. Some of us pay our debts, but it's all the harder because of idiots like you. Though I should thank you
Taking another swig from the flask.
for giving me such an easy job. I'm used to outlaws, you know, real bounties. If I knew catching sad little escapees like you was so easy, I would have changed clients ages ago.
Ethan drains the rest of the flask.
Thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body isn't yours and it will always betray you no matter what. So please go. I'll catch up with you whenever I need another drink.
Look at yourself.
Give it up, Sleeper.
He shouts back down the corridor.
Go find a job.
You turn and set off in the opposite direction. Head down, you walk hard and fast down the walkway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal of the rim like hammer. The compressor is quiet today. The usual crowds are elsewhere, and the pumping music washes over a handful of spaces and a few drunks. Ethan is still in there, the same stool, in the same pool of light. His head is low, close to the bar, and the bartender is ignoring him. Approach him. As you get closer, he lifts his head and turns.
Sleeper!
He turns to look at you.
Time to pay up as it is.
He gestures to the bartender.
Come here, take their chits.
Ethan doesn't even look at you. He props his elbows on the bar and holds his head.
Sleeper, it's been a long cycle.
Enough. Ethan lets out a long sigh. He rapidly rubs his eyes with his palms.
You are right. This isn't fun anymore.
He reaches towards his holster. His elbow slips and the gun trembles out. It clatters on the bar and falls to the floor, bouncing on the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun, stare at it,
Butterfingers!
and then puts out a hand, beckoning for you to give him the gun back.
If you would.
The bartender looks at you worryingly. You crouch down to pick up the gun. Point the gun at Ethan. Ethan turns his head in your direction a little, the sharp eye locking in with yours. The bartender backs away.
Oh, this is more like it.
You don't wait, you pull the trigger. The gun clicks. By now, all the attention in the bar is on you and Ethan, who looks at his gun with a bemused expression. The bartender raises an open hand, and are in it 10 shiny bullets. 10 shiny bullets he took out of Ethan's gun while he was asleep on the bar. Fuck, dude. Damn it. Ethan smiles at the bartender.
Oh, well.
And grabs the gun, slamming it back in the face in a single move. You stagger back and drop to a knee. Somewhere nearby, the gun clatters onto the surface, then hitting a glancing blow that makes your vision swim. Through the blur, you see Ethan wrestles a small, thin slate from his belt and hold it up.
Enough of this. I'm logging the job and calling it in.
Ethan taps at the slate.
No more playing.
Your head aches. Ethan taps through a few screens impatiently. He swears and taps again. He starts shouting, a dull echo to your ringing ears. He starts screaming at the slate and throws it across the bar. He crouches down and grabs you by the chin, his face close, his breath heavy with drink.
SNF just screwed me. They canceled the contract.
He stands up.
They canceled the contract.
You stand up, struggling to your feet, the sting of the hit fading. Ethan is rubbing his temples, his face pale. You hear a clicking sound like coins being counted, like bullets being loaded into a magazine. When you shake off the last of the blur, the bartender has Ethan's pistol trained on Ethan's head. Ethan stumbles back towards the middle of the room, all eyes trained on him.
I'll kill all of you.
He stumbles into the wall, spinning away towards the door.
I'll be back for that.
He shouts at the bartender and lunges out of the compressor. You steady yourself on the bar and catch your breath. The rumble of conversation returns. The bartender goes to say something, then thinks better of it and returns to clean the bar. After a while, you wander out into the light of the bright market, looking for Ethan around every corner. He's good? It's like, it bought me a lot more time.
You miss me.
No, I don't. You look at him, he is paler than usual, hunched. He's supporting a black eye and more than a few cycles of beard growth.
There's no way to greet an old friend.
Get lost, man. Ethan's face drops along with all the pretense of friendliness.
I think you want to hear this, Sleeper. I think
He says, rapidly shaking his head.
you really want to hear this.
Hear what?
This is big, real big stuff about you.
He seems more jittery than usual, on edge.
You remember how SNR canceled the contract on you? The contract I was going to collect?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, I'm guessing you were pretty happy about that shit. Overjoyed. Me? I lost everything, but let's not worry about that. So, what did you think? Was that it?
I was glad to be done with you.
Oh, the feeling was mutual, except
Ethan leaves a dramatic pause.
what if old SNR gave the bounty to someone else? Someone who is even more of a shithead than yours truly. What a disaster that would be.
Who?
That's the question, isn't it?
Ethan fishes around his pockets for a slip of paper.
I've been speaking to some friends, you see, some colleagues about what went down. And it turns out SNRP canceled all their bounty contracts, the whole lot of them. It seems they brought someone in-house, some guy who did such a good job on their last contract, they got offered a job. He leans in. Apparently, he made a hit on the ship called the Winter Wonderland, or something. It was smuggling sleepers out from under SNRP's big corporate nose. He cleared the crew and blew the ship. They called him Hemrick, or Maywick, or something.
He gives up looking for the paper.
I forget.
You mean Winterlight?
Yeah, that's it. So do you know about all this?
He pats you on the shoulder.
Then you'll be happy to hear what I'm about to offer you.
Ethan runs his hands through his greasy hair.
Given this new information I brought to your light, it seems like you are in need of protection.
I'm not paying you anything, man.
Easy, I'll get to that.
He looks down the corridor.
Meanwhile, I'm in need of assistance in kind. It turns out I upset some people at the compressor the last time we were there, the owners, and they say they'll space me unless I work off the debt. Seems that they are that kind of businessman. I paid them, but...
He shrugs and turns his jacket's pocket inside out in a mime of poverty. He looks pitiful, even more so for his clownish acting. Then work it off.
You should be glad.
The anger rising in him now.
But I came here and told you this. You think anyone is looking out for you? You are a contract, a name on a list.
Kicks the wall. Ethan rubs his temples.
Sorry. I'm sorry for being a shit and trying to kill you and whacking that thick skull of yours. You think I want to go up against this guy? But us, we don't have a choice. So you keep me from getting killed, and I'll do the same for you. We can help each other. A straight 50-50 deal.
He looks at you.
I'm not asking for a favor.
Fine. He looks like a shit warmed up.
Just think about Maywick. Think about that old-eyed SNRP shit on his way here from the core systems. He's that to give you the motivation you need.
Ethan swaggers off down the corridor, throwing his jacket over his shoulder.
Can't wait to be working with you.
Okay, now you're gonna help me, dude?
They are never gonna release my dad this shit.
So Ethan kicks at a locker, the sound rattling around the room. Ethan paces around the small, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room. Calm down, or do it.
There's no way.
He spits on the floor, an old habit.
They like having swiveling little shits like us to work their club. Saves on the overheads and they get to boss us around.
He kicks the locker again. What do they say?
Some shit about getting back to me. I swear to God, these are the most straight-edged gangsters I've ever seen. I can't do it. I can't spend another shift stopping spacers, bringing nail guns into the club, or pouring endless shots of Guriol on ignorant Havenage worker crews.
He looks at the locker again and threatens it with a final kick.
I mean it. I'm gonna go up there and shoot every single one of those shit.
So he makes a finger gun. Whoa, hold on there.
Don't get all excited. I haven't got my gun, remember?
He stops pacing, but...
You know, Sleeper, it's not a bad idea you have there.
I didn't have an idea. He ignores you.
I don't mean shooting up the place. I mean getting the gun.
He sits back beside you on the bench.
Think about it. What am I supposed to do when Mayrick gets here? Shoot him down? I need that gun if you want me to keep up my end of the deal. It's simple. An explosive personality for a distraction at the front. Sneaky Sleeper to go in the back.
It's stupid.
It's stupid enough. Simple plans are the best. If they don't notice us take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus...
He stands up.
After my distraction, they'll be happy to see the back of me.
Fine.
Yes.
He gives the locker one last kick for good luck.
Let me know when you want to do this, but don't take too long or I really will shoot this place up. You know I'll do it.
Oh, no, that's not good. Well, dude, good thing I got a freaking sixer. There you go. Grab the gun, baby. The gun tucked safely in a pocket. You work your way down the stairs that lead up to the office. The doorman passes and you exchange nods. It seems like you were in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out of there before anyone spots anything. As you come down the main stairway into the front of the club, you see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes which troubles you. He's reaching into the pocket of his coat slowly, carefully. You catch his eye and he raises an eyebrow. You shake his head. A long pause, and then he nods and turns around, walking back out of the club. You exhale, not realizing you were holding your breath. And then you were out without a single shout, without anyone noticing. You meet Ethan around the corner on a quiet, bright market walkway.
You have it?
Yeah, you lift it out of your pocket and it is colder, heavier than you expected. Ethan watches you take it out.
Nice. And now if you would...
He beckons with his hand. A memory jumps into your mind of Ethan and the compressor hand out asking for his gun back. A memory followed by the memory of a sharp dizzying pain. Ethan eagerly grabs it and looks down the sights. He sighs a sigh of relief. Then he meets your eye and slowly raises the gun until it's pointed directly at your head. Not funny.
You still don't get it, do you, Sleeper? When they canceled that contract, I lost everything. My reputation, my payout, any way of getting out this shitty station, everything. All I had left was you. A naive little sleeper with a heart of gold. I couldn't believe it worked. And now we are done.
Contract's canceled.
Nah, shit.
Ethan steps back a little, taking himself out of arm's reach. He slides his slate out of his jacket with his other hand.
Now to call Maywick.
Are you crazy?
You are crazy, Sleeper, for thinking I'd kill one of my own for you? For what? Helping me wash dishes?
He laughs long and loud and you hate him for it. He prods the slate.
Done.
He puts it away.
He's here, you know, on the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract, not 50-50, but enough of a finder's fee that I can get out of this shithole.
He's lying.
At this point, Sleeper, I'm not sure you are the one I trust to spot a lie.
Ethan glances around.
I have learned one thing from you, though, Sleeper. In all our cycles working in that shitty club, people never know when to cut and run. It's like they're freezing the headlights when the future is bearing down on them. They watch it come and watch their death flying in at fraction drive speed. You had every chance and still you kept on going like some idiot robot going through the motions, even when they knew you'd be crushed.
He smirks.
And let me tell you something else.
The shot enters through his upper back and he crumbles immediately to the ground. You drop to without thinking, pressuring yourself to the walkway floor like it might save you. Silence. You look up and see him coming down the walkway, silent, eyes ahead, a light. Maywick. You freeze in fear. Here he comes. You see it just by Ethan's crumpled body, the gun. You can't. You inch forward. You go for it. You run forward and a shot sounds out. You feel it ripple over your back. Then your hands are on the gun and you scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You close your eyes. You fire again and again and again until the clip is empty and there are only clicks that are left. Then you drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running. You don't hear anything. You just hear the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the walkway, and then past Maywick. His eyes now dark, some mechanical fluid leaking from his chest. Perhaps that same fluid that is inside you. You try not to think about it. You keep going, and the sound comes back. The eye comes back. And as it does, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives. Thousands of people who are just going to keep on going until they can't anymore. You look up and all you see are the whirling stars. They are spinning and you're suddenly dizzy, although the eye has spun something like this, hasn't it? And you won't stop walking, you just keep going. That's all there is now, the path forward. Astronarp have left you no history, no past to speak of, just a void that threatens to swallow you if you slow down. You think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You aren't sure it can ever be, but you're still here, and you can't stop now. You wake from dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It was difficult to sleep, and you suspect that isn't about to change anytime soon, not after what just happened. But you also feel something else as you get up. Thumb to the power set of the stove and begin to boil the water like every morning. You feel something has lifted, something that has been hanging over you since you arrived on this station. You try not to think too hard about it, to question it. You just let that lightness stay, let it settle as you go through your routines. Your hope is that if you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly, it won't get scared or leave you. The lightness will stay for the cycle and then another, because after all that's happened, a little lightness could be nice.